Good morning, good morning. Welcome to my first ever live stream of day trading. Up until today, I've been screen recording my trading and uploading after the fact. And today, for the first time, I finally have the setup working here. I had some great help getting this set up, and I will be attempting to live stream while I trade today. The leading gapper today is CTIB, and I'm watching this right now as it's breaking up over 420. You can see here it's been trending down slightly on the highs here pre-market, and it's trying to break 420. So I'm looking to take a trade here, so I'm going to possibly get in. If you notice here, I don't have time and sales, and I can't use my hotkeys on this stock for whatever reason. I can't use my hotkeys on, so I'm watching this one. The pre-market high right now is 452, so I'll definitely be watching it for getting up over that price. The market yesterday, last week, I had a really good ending to the week. The last 2 days, Thursday and Friday, I'd made over $6,000. And Monday, yesterday, the market seemed pretty cold to me. I did miss some moves on a couple of stocks because I got stuck in some trades I didn't necessarily want to be in, but we'll see. There's nothing looking super great today except for possibly CTIB. The only problem with this one is I don't see any news on it. So I'll be a little bit cautious on this one. It's been coming up and then dropping all the way back down here to the VWAP and back up and so forth. So definitely watching it here, but being cautious. I don't want to go swinging for home runs right out of the gate and get burned on a stock that that makes a move and then rejects that level. So I have been a short bias trader recently. The stocks today that I could possibly short are DWSN. Let's look at that one. DWSN, Dawson Geophysical Company. Let me pull up CTIB on another chart here. So DWSN also doesn't have any news. This one's had a kind of funky 5-minute chart here. Doesn't that look interesting? It shoots up, comes back, shoots up, comes back, shoots up, comes back, and it's almost identical each of these 3 moves. So it is up a little bit on the day. Yesterday it closed at 325, and right now it's at 399. So if this one continues, it is below the VWAP here. If this one comes down on the day, then it would be potentially a good short. I would probably look for it to come up and tap the VWAP first, though, just to get some more room and to have a better entry. So the VWAP's around 466. So I'm putting this one up on a different monitor, and I'm going to watch for this one to come up towards the VWAP and then see if it will reject that level for a short. It currently has 22 million or 1.8 million shares of volume and a 21 million share float. So not a super small float, but no news, and it's gapping up 21% right now, so that could be a good short. Let's see what else. It looks like CTIB is maintaining up above the 420 level here. So we'll see. On a pullback, I might jump in here, or if it's going up over 450, I might just jump in. second. Sterling. I have to reload my platform because I never closed it out. Yeah, so overall this morning, definitely going to be a little bit cautious. The market seems like it's cooled off a little bit. But, and my nerves are probably a little bit, running high because I'm live streaming, even though I probably have like 0 people watching. But it's going to be a little bit different psychologically today for sure, recording versus live streaming. So I'm definitely going to be a little bit careful with that. So we're almost up to the pre-market high here on CTIB over 450. This is, I'm going to take a starter here at 439. So I'm in with 633 shares at 439. If it pulls back, I might add. I am adding, I am getting in where it's extended here. It could have come back to 408. My only concern is how this one has been, coming up and then dropping right back down pre-market. So we'll see what happens here. So I'm looking on the 1-minute chart here, doing a 1-minute pullback. I'm in with 25% of my account, which is $2,700 worth. I'm going to go ahead and add here at 430. So my average price is 435 now. We have 2 minutes and 55 seconds until the market open. So if this one comes down to VWAP is at 393. So I definitely don't want to be in this below the VWAP. Right now it's coming down pretty hard, just like it has been. Ready to stop out if it comes to VWAP. So I'm down 30 cents a share almost here, and is it going to come down farther or turn around and go back up is the question. I already added to my position, so I'm in with 43% of my account on this stock. So for the first trade of the day, I'm inclined to not add on this dip, even though it could get me a better price, because I don't know if this is going to take off or not when the market opens. We have 1 minute and 50 seconds. So this is the leading gapper. You can see right over here above my webcam the stock scanners I'm using. So CTIB, number 1 on the leading gap list, up 73% over yesterday's price, which is 237. It has a 3.39 million share float, which means there's 3.39 million shares available to trade on the market. If you look at the rest of these stocks, it has the lowest float of all of them. Stocks with low floats tend to be more volatile. So I'm adding here at 412. It looks like it's bottoming out on this pullback, possibly. So I don't want to add to this anymore because I'm in with 85% of my account now, which is kind of against my rules. So I have 2,264 shares of this, average price of 423. So I'm going to have a hard stop at the VWAP, which is 393. So I don't put out stop loss orders. I do it all manually. So I have my hands on the hotkeys, Control Z. If I have this window selected, if I hit Control Z, I'll sell my full position on the bid. Likewise, if it comes up here, we have 12 seconds till the market opens. I will be taking profit as it's coming up to 450 if it goes up. So 3 seconds. Market's open. Buying on the tape. So I'm watching this price right here, and if we're seeing a lot of buying or selling on the time and sales right there. And so far looking good here. I'm waiting for a pop over 440 to get that breakout here. So the high of the last 5-minute candle is 441. So ideally I'd want to see this pop over 441. Right, that's not looking good there. So let's see if we hold $4. VWAP is 396. I'm stopping out. So that's a sizable loss right there, $600. That's how I started out yesterday. So this stock is not behaving how we want a momentum stock to trade right now. So I'm probably going to leave that one alone. I have a list here of potential stocks for shorting. I'll just keep CTIB up on another screen if I see it coming back up. So DWSN, I'm watching this one for it to DWSN. I'm watching this one to see if it will move back up towards the VWAP for a potential short. So I'll put that up here, DWSN on my level 2. It's coming up a little bit. And what else? There wasn't anything looking really, really good. BBIG was the second leading gapper. So I'll pull this one up and look at it, BBIG. The trouble with this one is I can't short it. So it's below the VWAP right here, and trading stocks to the long below the VWAP is not usually the way I go. That usually indicates that it is pretty weak. You can see it gapped up quite a bit here from, well, yesterday it was at $4 and right now it's at $5, but pre-market it came up all the way to a high of $6.76. So it's, you know, $1.75 below where it gapped up this morning in pre-market. So not really interested in that one. Let's see what else. SNSS potentially, but there's not a lot of room. See this one, here's the daily chart. You can see it's gapping up from 360 to 392 right here, and it is easy to borrow, so I could short it. It just doesn't have a whole lot of room to go. So we'll see what happens here. So right now, didn't have the move we wanted on CTIB, so I'm kind of just sitting here waiting for something to give me a good opportunity, which is usually, you know, the name of the game in day trading is you have to be patient and watch a bunch of stocks, moving up or down, and not take trades and wait until you have the right one with a good setup. So DWSN is coming up a little bit here. This one, let's look at this stock, DWSN. So it's engages in the provision of onshore seismic data acquisition services. So geophysical, oil and gas stuff. So this one's gapping up quite a bit today. It's up almost a whole dollar. It was at 326 yesterday, and it's at 416 right here. So I'm watching this one for a move closer to the VWAP here at 453, and I'm gonna be interested in shorting it there. So just made a pretty big move there from 410 or so to 430. Watching it here. So I'll get in with smaller size initially, and then I will see if it rejects the VWAP, and then maybe increase my position as it comes back down or as it retests the VWAP. So I'm shorting it right here. That was half my account at 427. Kind of risky, but it does seem to be rejecting the VWAP here. You see how this candle came all the way up here to a high of 447. The VWAP's at 450, and either it's going to jump above the VWAP and I'll have to stop out, or it will come back down. So just waiting here. So I'm just shorting the rest of my account right at 432 and 433. So my average price is 430, and I'm short 4,987 shares. So this isn't one I want to let get away from me in the wrong direction. But you see how this came all the way up here, tapped this orange line, and now is having pressure to the downside. And things going good for me are the fact that it doesn't have any news that I can see here. So there isn't necessarily a specific reason for why this stock is gapping up so much. There's nothing that I know of. It could just be the oil and gas sector, or some other oil and gas related news. But so far so good on this. You notice I basically have 5,000 shares short on this. Oh, perfect. Look at that. So I'm trying to buy back half my position at 385. Did you see how quickly this rejected that? So yeah, this is really good. I'm going to cancel that order. But look at this 1 minute chart right here, and the 10-minute chart right here. In a matter of 10 seconds, this went from 420 to 380, and it's coming lower here. And I have, I'm short 5,000 shares. So this could end up being a very, very good trade. You can see it. So aside from my entry, which was a little bit low, I got in the 420 and 430, low 30s. This is a really, really good trade here. So I haven't taken any profit yet, but you can see I'm up unrealized $1,700 right there. And with that kind of rejection of the VWAP here and coming down and pretty much okay, so here in pre-market it has this level at 380. See how it initially, let me open this up bigger. See how it initially tapped the 380 price level here on its when it was pulling back the first time? So this one's just making these flags and then coming back up. So a break below this price level right here of 380, because it's come down and tapped this level 3 times now. A break below 380 is a very, very good sign. It won't necessarily do that right now, but if it does, it's a really good sign for this stock continuing lower. So that's called a level of support. It obviously wants to break down below this level, but it hasn't yet. So the potential on this trade is all the way back towards low threes. 320 you see on the daily chart here was or is the moving average there. The close on Monday was 325. So the way this rejected the VWAP, I'm willing to sit in this trade with my full position. It's very unlikely it will get back up towards the VWAP here and test it again. With that kind of selling, someone out there really wants this to go down, and I'm gonna bet that it breaks below the 380 level within 5, 10, 15 minutes. So started out the day a little bit rough on CTIB. Probably could have avoided adding to my position, because that definitely cost me a good amount of this $600 loss. I bought on a dip, but it came and then broke the VWAP to the downside. So we have VIRC hitting the scanner here. You can see that right here above my webcam. This one only has 60,000 shares of volume, so I'm not even going to look at it. Usually I want, at least 400,000 or 500,000 shares of volume before I start looking at stocks. Occasionally I'll trade them with less, but it just minimizes the risk of a lack of liquidity and big differences between the bid and the ask, the split. So a split, DWSN, the split here, you can see on the bid 381 and on the ask 382. So there's a 1 to 3 cent split on this, depending on so look at this, look at that, perfect, breaking below 380 and this moving average. Still haven't taken any profit, and I have unrealized $3,000 of profit. So the potential is real in the stock market. Press a couple buttons on my computer and I make a ridiculous amount of money. But on the flip side, can do the same thing and lose a ridiculous amount of money just as fast. So that's what we're dealing with here. So I used hotkeys to get into this trade. My hotkeys to short are Alt 1, 2, 3, or 4, depending on how much of my account I want to use. So I initially did Alt 2 to sell this stock with 50% of my account, and then after it came up a little bit more, got closer to the VWAP here, the price I was expecting it to reject, I did Alt 4, which did 90% of the remaining money in my account. So I'm in here with 95% of my account. So this has actually halted. So stock halts are when a when a stock is trading in such a volatile manner that it moves a certain percentage in a certain amount of time, the stock market, the stock exchange halts the trading of the stock for 5 minutes. So this scanner says breaking out on volume, see right above my video. But this is really the halting scanner, and it looks like DWSN halted here at 346 coming down. Usually when stocks halt going down, they open up from the halt even lower. If they halt going up, typically they begin trading after the halt at a higher price. That's typically, but most things are in the stock market, it's unpredictable. So I'll pull up trading halts here. So you can just Google trading halts and open up. So this is NASDAQtrader.com, and it shows you all the trading halts in real time. So you can see here DWSN halted at 943, and for level up down, and it will probably resume in 5 minutes from that time. So anytime a stock halts, I just add 5 minutes to this time. If you notice on my scanners, it says 5:43. That's because I'm in Alaska, and so we're 4 hours earlier here than Eastern time. So 9:43, that would resume at 9:47:46. So we'll be looking for resumption on this one in just a little bit here. So got a 40-minute break. So this is pretty awesome here, getting this really nice short. I wasn't expecting anything really good today because the scanners weren't really showing a lot of interesting stocks to trade today. So this one doesn't have a so here we go. 10 seconds. I'm going to probably try and get out with at least half my account here if it moves lower, because it doesn't have a whole lot lower to go on the day. Oh, never mind. I did my math wrong. 9:43 plus 5 minutes is 9:48. So, yep. So we have 40 seconds here before this resumes. Hey Jacob. I haven't been scaling out on this one just yet because it's been so weak and it has room to come down here to the price it was at yesterday. So I am looking to start getting out here because, you know, yesterday it closed at 326. So it could come all the way down to these moving averages on the daily chart, you know, 312. But I'm going to look to get out right here when it opens from this halt. So I just covered half there at 340 with the hotkey. And I'm looking for it to go a little bit lower here. So I bought half my position on the ask. If I'm buying on the ask, the order will fill immediately, and I can also throw out orders to take profit. So if you look right here, this is my trading platform, and I'm going to do just to demonstrate, I'm going to do Alt L, which is to buy back half of my 2,500 shares at whatever the bid price is right there. So here's Alt L, and you see this order right here. I'm going to cancel it. But basically using hotkeys there. If I hadn't canceled that, it would have filled it. 340, 341. But I'm holding on to this, the second half of this position, for it to come lower. So yeah, it's coming down lower here. Below 330, I'll take another half of my position off. So you can see how much of my account I'm using in each trade right here. So look at that. So I'm going to throw out an order. So I just bought half of my remaining position back at 321 there. So this is, I told you guys it would probably come down to 312 or so, and that's where it just came, and I just got out of the rest. So I just made $4,979 punching a few buttons on my computer, shorting this stock, which is pretty insane. That combined with my initial loss, I'm up $4,323 20 minutes after the market opened. So I'm already in really good shape today. So I'm just going to step back a little bit and look for some other stocks to trade. This one, pretty much done. You can see on the daily chart here how, what was my initial price? It was my average price on those, almost 5,000 shares was 430. So I shorted it right here, 430, and got out here, here, and here. So you saw me, I did hold on to this a lot longer than I normally would hold a momentum trade when stocks are trading on momentum. But when stocks are coming down, they usually come down a little bit harder. They usually drop a little bit faster and more predictably than stocks that are going up on momentum. So I usually feel a little bit more comfortable holding short positions longer. One risk is that when stocks are halting, they can resume shooting right back up and even halt going up. And if you get stuck in a halt with 5,000 shares and it opens up half a dollar above where it halted, that's pretty bad. But let's start looking for some other stocks to trade. So now that I have this nice huge cushion on the day, already increased my account by 45% or something just on that trade. You can see I have $11,200 in the account this morning down here in the bottom corner. I could really just call it a day right now and be in really good shape and have $15,000 tomorrow. But I'll stick around and look for some other good opportunities. So let's check out what CTIB has been doing. CTIB. Right. Also, do you have a Discord or chat room you use to communicate with your viewers? No, I do not. I just started sharing my trading 2 weeks ago. Just over 2 weeks ago. And as time goes on, maybe I'll have a chat room or something like that. But I think I just want to, build up a following on YouTube, and I suspect I'll probably just live stream for at least 2021 on YouTube. Maybe some other platforms if you have recommendations. I've never looked at Twitch. I don't game or anything like that. Maybe I'll do it on Facebook as well, or just try and steer everyone towards YouTube. But nope, no chat rooms, no website, no courses, nothing like that. I believe in learning by experience. So it's not necessarily the smartest thing to do, but I've never traded with a paper trading account with fake money. And consequently, throughout my journey to becoming a more solid trader, I did lose a lot of money, but that's just the the cost of my education. Um, so yeah, I think that being in the market every morning and watching what's happening and seeing the price action, seeing the movement, seeing the setups, and taking them with really small size um, is the best thing that one can do. But again, I don't really know. I haven't looked into the statistics um, behind day trading education and how people do with the different ways there are to learn. So I really wish this stock was shortable. You see down here on SNSS, it says ETB right there, easy to borrow. That means I can short it. CTIB here, there's no ETB here, so I can't short it. It's not easy to borrow at my broker. I do plan to open an account at Center Point sometime this year because they have, I think they're more geared towards shorting. So Center Point Securities, they're known for being geared towards short biased traders. So I'll probably open an account there sometime, but my account at Lightspeed is pretty good for me. They do have a lot of stocks that I can short, so yep. So interested in the Sterling layout. So Sterling isn't my broker, it's just the platform that I use paired with my broker. So Sterling is just this software here, the level 2, the position summary, the order entry, all that, and the hotkeys. So the thing I really like about Sterling is the hotkeys. I think its competition is DAS Trader Pro. I know I have an account with that platform somewhere else, and it's similar. They're all similar. They all work good. The important thing for me day trading is to have good hotkeys. So I've never really messed around with it, but brokers, like E-Trade, etc. I don't think they have great options for hotkeys for getting in and out of stocks because I need to be able to take trades instantaneously, and fumbling around with the trade while a stock could be breaking out or breaking down is not what I want to do. I want to look at it and punch a key on my computer and be in the stock. So TMST, I'll pull that one up here. TMST. This one has 1.4 million shares of volume, or 1.8 million shares of volume now, and it's up at $8. It is easy to borrow. There is news. So time can steal to cut 100 jobs and idle some work. So interesting how they're cutting 100 jobs and the stock goes up 25%. Kind of ironic. So this one is easy to borrow, so I could be shorting it sometime, but right now it's trending up. So sometimes I get a little ahead of myself and start trying to time short entries before stocks are rejecting levels and trending down. So this one I'm just gonna put it up on a different chart and watch it to see if there'll be a good entry for me later on. But right now, it is kind of trying to break below the VWAP here. VWAP is 776, so this actually could be the moment where it makes the move I would be looking for, but not taking any trades on it yet. If I did take a trade on this, I would either probably do it here, rejecting this moving average right there at 764. Or if it comes up and taps the VWAP right here at 775. But it looks like it's rejecting this level here, so I'll take a small short position. So I am short 374 shares at an average price of 755. This one I'm not going to add to it until it gives a better entry. But the see, this one, it popped up here. It's not really respecting the VWAP at all. It's been, you know, crossing back and forth over VWAP. And for shorting stocks, I very much want them to respect the VWAP to the downside. So watching this here to see if it will respect the VWAP here and reject it to the downside. If any of you, let's see. Yep, definitely need hotkeys for day trading. All the people out there, you know, using apps, things like that, that's great for, well, the apps are horrible for charts because you don't have enough room to on your phone screen to see everything you need to see. But as far as executing trades, it takes too long. So I'm shorting some more here at 763 was my price there. So now I'm short 1,200 here at an average price of 760. So it's pretty awesome. I have 8 people watching. So first ever live stream. Thanks for joining me. Having a pretty good day so far. So if I'm up on the day like this, obviously the number one thing I don't want to do, or the number one thing I do want to do, is keep my profit. I don't want to give it all back. And you saw how quickly I made $5,000 on that trade on DWSN, and I could just as quickly lose that money on another trade. So playing it safe is the name of the game in day trading. If you focus on making money and focus on how much money you could make on a trade, that could come back and bite you if you're not managing risk. First and foremost, I have to manage my risk. If you manage your risk, you can live to trade another day. If you focus on profits, you can blow up your account in 2 seconds and be done. Which I did do many times throughout the process of, you know, of learning to trade. So this one, I don't know about this. So the high of this candle here, the last candle, is 831. Breaking over that would definitely be a place to stop out. I am holding on to it kind of loosely here. So my average price is 760. So not really liking this this trade here, but sticking in it just for a minute here. Without risk, there's no reward, but you have to manage the risk for sure. So depending on um, yeah, depending on how confident I was that a stock would, reject a certain level and come back down, I would be adding to my position here. But, you know, I really have no idea what this stock is going to do. Trading is not about being right or wrong. It's about taking good setups, getting out quickly if they don't go in your direction, or getting out at the right levels, and taking profit at the right levels. If you approach every trade where you could either lose 100 or make 200, you can still be wrong more than half the time and make money. So if that makes sense, if you lose $100 5 times, you're down $500. If you make $200 5 times, you make 1,000. So 1,000 minus 500, that's $500, and you're a profitable trader. So you don't have to be right more than 50% of the time. That's why day trading is not gambling. It's gambling if you treat it like gambling and you don't take good entries and you don't stop out when you should and you keep trading. That is gambling. But so I like this coming back down here. So this one, pretty much I'm just staying in here to see what it does. If it gets up 820 or so, definitely stop out. But the high of this last candle is 808, so 810 is now my kind of hard stop price on this, which is a lot of room to give this, being in at 760, but it's okay. Has 2.7 million shares of volume on the day. The float, what is the float? I'm just kind of a little bit distracted by the fact that I'm live streaming, so not really paying attention like I normally would. Tmst, so the float is 36 million. Interesting. So I'm looking at this. This one actually has a pretty big short float, almost 10%. I'm going to check FinViz as well. FinViz. So that could definitely work against me because there's let's see, Tmst. If you guys are hey Robert, thanks for joining in here. Sorry about your CCIV and BBIG trades. It's the way it goes trading. Robert, I think you're my #1 trading fan, so thank you very much. I really appreciate having all the comments, and it'll be cool to share our trading experience. I haven't really done that with many people before, so thank you very much. Tmst. Also, if you guys know anyone that's interested in this stuff, I would really appreciate if you shared this live stream or my channel with them, and if they'd be interested in joining in the live streams as well, that would be awesome. Yep, so the short float on TMST is 10%, so I'm about to get out of this if it breaks up over 808. That's because it would be breaking the high of the last 5-minute candle here. which is an indication that it would be moving up. Yeah, so for the YouTube delay, I specifically set my streaming to super low latency. So when I was testing it last night, it was like 2 or 3 seconds, which is awesome. I did that. Okay, I'm getting out here. So $573 loss on TMST. That was a little bit of a lapse of judgment in that trade. I was just, it could have rejected the VWAP, but all the signs I had here, coming up and down and up and down, showed that it didn't really care about the VWAP, and so unfortunate loss there. But it's okay. I'll keep this stock on watch for shorting it later in the day if it does go up a bunch and then start to come back down. So CTIB was the leading gapper. So here's the gap scanners right here from this morning. CTIB, the leading gapper, and this one is making a move here. So maybe this one's going to take off today. This one isn't shortable, so I don't have any intention to short this because I can't in my account. But what I can do is trade it to the long. Took a while for it to, looks like it dropped down at the market open here, and then broke above VWAP. So the best entry on this stock would have been breaking above VWAP, and it hasn't done a 5-minute setup yet. So I'll look for a 5-minute setup, which would be on the 5-minute chart here, pulling back, consolidating, and then breaking out. So I'll watch CTIB for a 5-minute setup. Tmst. Also above $5, I'd probably trade it for the break of $5. So if it doesn't do a pullback, I'll watch for a whole dollar break of the whole dollar. If you guys see any stocks that I'm not looking at that are good, definitely shout them out in the chat so I can take a look at them. I have a tendency to once I'm trading to kind of not pay attention to the scanners, or sometimes my scanners don't always alert me to some stocks that are still really good trades. So it does look like CTIB wants to do a 5-minute setup, but we have 1 minute and 18 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. So on pullbacks, either on the 5-minute chart or the 1-minute chart, what I want to see is for there to be this, it's called the flagpole. So it makes a flag. So the flagpole, and then the flag comes out to the side here, and then we want to see a candle break the high of the previous candle's high after we've had a pullback. This one might be another 5 minutes until we have a setup, because this candle has such a tall, it's such a tall candle here. The high is 487. So breaking 487 isn't really a pullback setup. I could buy a dip on this stock, but you saw what happened to me at market open, where it, just came crashing down. So I am a little bit weary or leery or whatever the word is of buying a dip here on this stock. Just haven't seen a ton of momentum the last, this week, yesterday or today. Tmst, maybe triple top. Thanks, Robert. Tmst, let's look at that. Yeah, maybe. CTIB. Let's see what ZKIN is doing. ZKIN. So this one's hitting the scanner. Interesting. Look at that nice bounce here off of $7 for ZKIN. So you can see this flag, this bull flag that CTIB is forming, comes up, then consolidates. So this one could form a really nice 5-minute setup here, but we have 3.5 minutes left on this this current 5-minute candle. Yeah, I think a lot of people that live stream day trading purposely have a longer lag, so that's why I had a very knowledgeable, helpful software or network engineer / IT guy help me set this live stream up, and he was super helpful, so I'm really thankful for that. I'm using 2 computers, so my trading computer doesn't have to do the grunt work of live streaming. I do need to get a new computer sometime because my trading computer gets maxed out very easily. All right, so I'm going to take a small starter on CTIB here. The reason being for it coming and bouncing into this moving average on the 1-minute chart. So I'm in with 636 shares at 436. So this is a dip trade here. And what I want to see is, look at that. So in 1 minute and 50 seconds, the 5-minute chart will form a new candle, and the high of this candle right here is 468. So at 468, I'll be a buyer for a 5-minute setup. So by getting in there early on this dip right here, I pretty much got a good price there, 436. I can add to this for the 5-minute setup and be in good shape. If it comes down and drops below 430, I can always just get out with my initial position. But so far so good. We'll see what happens here. 52 seconds until new 5-minute candle. It has 75 million shares of volume, and this one has, what is it, a 1 million share float? I think it was, yeah. Tool. So CTIB or CTIB. Yeah, 3.39 million, which is a really small float. So watching here, we have 17 seconds to a new 5-minute candle. I'm adding here at 459, so I'm in here with 1,500 shares, average price of 449. So watching here, new candle forming in 3 seconds. Nope. Coming down. Probably should have stopped out there. We'll see what happens. So it might be another 5 minutes, or might not even do a 5-minute setup. Average price is 449. So just watching the level 2 here. It's coming up. So it was, still pretty extended there. So this pullback here to the moving average makes sense, and now it's coming back up here to the 50s. We do have 3 minutes and 45 seconds on this 5-minute candle. If it stays here around this level, that'll be a really nice 5-minute setup, but we do have 3.5 minutes. So it might come up and break above this high of 468 before then, or it might come back down. So all I want to do is manage the trade. I do tend to not stop out all the time when I should, and some of the time it works against me, and some of the time it helps me. So what? All right, that was an advertisement on FinViz. So here, right at my price, just waiting. I could add to this over, so I'm adding here at 469 for the 5-minute setup. So I'm in here with my full account. Average price is 456. Watching. Ideally, I could get over $5 on this trade. I'm going to take some profit there. I took half at 485 just to be safe, and ready to stop out on the rest, or take some profit as it moves up towards $5. Either way. So I have 1,179 shares here. Average price of 466. So here we come. Coming up to the 90s. If we get 90s, back to the 80s. Usually once the stock gets into the 90s and it has some strength, it'll get up to 99 and break the whole dollar. So we'll see a push to $5 here, hopefully. So here's 490s again. Just watching the level 2. $95, $97. I threw out an order there to buy some on the ask at 95, but I'm just going to stop out on the rest. So it will very likely come up here and break $5 eventually, but that was a good trade. I pretty much made back my initial loss on CTIB. So I was down 600 something. Now I'm only down $34 on CTIB, so that was good. Could do it. I'll do a small trade for the break of $5 if we get up in the 90s and it looks promising. This is a 1-minute pullback right here, so coming back to the 90s. So I'm getting in right there and looking for the break of $5. Average price is $4.90. Selling half at $4.99. So I've only have 285 shares here. It's doing a pretty good pullback here, but 285 shares isn't much. I do suspect this will continue farther today. So it's a good thing I did take off half my position there at $4.99. It's pretty extended, so. So just holding this small position here through this pullback. Could look for some, So Tmst is coming back down. So this one I am interested in shorting. If it Tmst. So I'm taking a small short position on this at 796 for the break of the VWAP here. So see that, how it came down to the VWAP? You see the 1 minute chart, it went sideways a little bit here, and then it dropped down here immediately. So Jacob is watching Tesla. Yeah, I don't know anything about trading Tesla. I usually stick away from stocks over $30, so that's out of my wheelhouse for sure. But I'm sure it's super exciting and disappointing at the same time. So that was a good short on TMST. I didn't use a huge amount of my account for that yet. I'll see what it does, and if it, I'm gonna get out of the rest of CTIB here, maybe. No, it's kind of bottoming out on the 1 minute chart, so I'll just hold on to that for now. So holding on to a small trade in CTIB here for the next move up, and I'm short TMST for the break of the VWAP here on to the downside. So far today it's been really good. Without that DWSN short, I would not be doing too well right now probably, but executed that trade very well, very good, and happy with how I am on the day. It makes all the difference to me if if I'm green on the day and have a nice profit cushion versus starting out in the red, getting more in the red and being frustrated. And that's minimizing my losses on days like that is probably the biggest thing I can do to manage my risk, because in the past I have had a tendency to revenge trade. I get down a little bit and I try and make it back, maybe I make some back, but I'm still not green, so I'm trading my P&L, and I keep jumping into the next stock that's moving without really thinking about things, and it gets worse and worse usually. Maybe 25% of the time doing that, I can make it back to green on the day, but I rack up so many commissions and it's not fun. The rest of the day is kind of lost because I'm so, fatigued from staring at this for 8 hours. I'd prefer to have days like today where I have a nice cushion and I can call it a day after a couple hours and go do other things and have a really nice day and come back with an account that's $4,000 bigger the next morning. So definitely need to focus on managing the days where I get in the red better in terms of my mental and emotional response to being red, because I'm technically, or on the inside, I'm a pretty competitive person, and it doesn't work out too well in trading. I don't like losing, and I don't like losing money, and no one does. So it impacts all of us in the stock market. We don't like loss. So CTIB is not looking great here. Might just cut this loss here. So I just got out of CTIB there. So that was still a really nice a couple trades I took on CTIB. I did give back, $100 on that last trade for the break of the whole dollar. So that's another thing to talk about for sure. Let me pull up CTIB. So the quality of your setup is everything. I traded for this 5-minute breakout and made back $600. And then I traded for the break of the whole dollar when it was extended and gave back, $100. So whatever time frame you're trading on, or whatever time frame I'm trading on, the bigger the time frame, the kind of safer the likelihood the likelihood of the trade doing what the chart is kind of showing it could do is it's more likely on bigger time frames. So taking 1 minute 1 minute pullbacks is not as safe of an entry as 5-minute pullbacks, etc. At least for me, that's what I find. So I usually try and not trade stocks when they're extended doing 1 minute pullbacks. I'd rather wait for better setups. And quality is everything in trading, because there's so many stocks. You could be taking all the trades you want, but you need to have really quality entries. It's definitely not about quantity, it's about quality. So TMST here, it's up quite a bit on the day. It's at 775 right now. Yesterday's close was 630. There's plenty of room for this to come back down. It does have some news. Not really impressed. They cut 100 jobs. And looks like, kind of shut down work at some plant, something like that. So nothing really impressive to cause this to come up now 23% on the day. So I do have a short bias on this, and I'm looking for a place to add to my position here on some consolidation, testing the VWAP or or this moving average here on the 1 minute chart, which is 4 cents below the VWAP. CTIB coming down to the VWAP. So TMST, my average price is $7.96, and I'm going to look to add here at $7.95 or so, if it can get up there. If it doesn't, I'll be shorting it around 770, which will be, you know, breaking down below the lows here. The low right now is 768, the low on this pullback. So yeah, if you see any other good small, okay, here we go. Shoot, missed my entry there on TMST. So watching this. So I just sold 1,000 shares there at $7.95 for the testing the VWAP here. I'm ready to stop out if need be. So I just stopped out at $8, or tried to. Yeah, so I just stopped out of that trade. It was breaking up over, you know, $8. I saw a big seller here right at $8 on the level 2, and it was getting eaten up, so I stopped out there. It very well may reject this price, but managing my risk on that trade. We'll see what it does here. I think I'm about to you know, say I'm done with this stock for the day, but that's only if it doesn't respect the VWAP here. Because the whole trading day here, it's just been, you know, seesawing back and forth, up and down below the VWAP. But it is kind of respecting it right now, but only time will tell. How's the live stream video? Is it good quality? Have there been any like pauses or anything like that, or has it been pretty good? Awesome, awesome. Good to hear. Nice. If you guys have any nice. If you guys have any specific like interests or videos you'd like me to make, I might start making you know, more videos outside of just recording and live streaming my trading. So yeah, definitely holler out anything you'd want me to make a movie on, so I can build up my YouTube content. I don't know how much of that I'll do. I might just focus on live streaming at this point, but that's certainly the easy way to go. But I could step it up and make some more videos too. So PHCF has very low volume, but somewhat interesting. Can't short it. See right here, it has 250,000 shares of volume on the day. Carla, you're watching in 360p. Is that by choice, or do you not have the option for better quality? So for those willing to take insane risk, PCHF could certainly be a gamble, but it's not a safe stock to be trading for me right now. Maybe if it gets some more volume on the day, but no news. 350,000 shares of volume right now, and very extended here. Yeah, I don't imagine the this stream would look too good in 360p, so probably can't see anything. I'm kind of conscientious of if you're watching it on a phone and how small all these charts are and stuff, because I usually keep them pretty small, and I have I think these are 21-inch screens, so it's a lot different looking at it on my screen than on the phone. So hopefully you can see any of this stuff you want to see, but it might be hard on a mobile device. I might take one last stab at Tmst if it comes below the VWAP here. But yeah, we'll see. Yep, so I'm shorting Tmst here. 797 for the break below the VWAP. So if this trade works out, that's awesome. If it doesn't, it might be done for the day. Yeah, so I'll try and make these candles bigger for you guys if you're watching on your phone. Here we go. There we go. So it's a nice breakdown here below the VWAP, up 10 cents here. CTIB is continuing to drop. It's all the way down to the 390s now. So the reason I'm shorting TMST is it's up a whole lot on the day here compared to, the last week here. It was in the $5 to $6 range recently, and It came all the way up here and tapped a high of 859 today, and now it looks like it's coming down pretty hard here, but it hasn't really been trading or respecting the volume weighted average price, which is my primary level that I use when I'm shorting stocks. So nice trade here on TMST. I'm up 41 cents with 354 shares. Not taking any profit here. It's a small position. Maybe we'll add to it later. But wow, that drop on DWSN was insane. That was really nice. Let's see what it's doing here. Just look at that on the 1 minute chart. That made the day for sure. So let's see. So market opened for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 35 minutes. It kind of curled up here and then started coming back down, and boom, I got in at my average price was 430, and I knew to get in there because I was trading it based off the VWAP, same thing as I've been trying to on TMST. Look at this stock, 3 times pre-market on DWSN. It shot up, tested VWAP and rejected it. Shot up, tested VWAP and rejected it. Shot up in one candle, tested VWAP, rejected it. So naturally I looked for the same thing when the market opened. What did it do? It shot up, tested VWAP. I shorted it with my full account. Came down here and covered after it opened up from the halt. I think, let's see what my TMST is looking good. I think, let's see, I'm trying to find out what my best price was on DWSN. So DWSN. So I was buying this at 320, 321, 319. So my best price on this was 319, which is, the low was 312. So that was a really great trade. I got out with half of my account at 330 down here and the rest at 319. So killed it on that one. All the way from 430 right here after the rejecting the VWAP to 319 right there. So fully capitalized on that trade with my full account, getting the full move, and it's making the day here. So thank you, DWSN. TMST, I'm in this short for the break of the VWAP. Does look like it's starting to trend down here, which is good. I just want to have it kind of pull up here so I can add to my trade. And that little flash up there could have been my opportunity, but it wasn't a big move. So we'll see if it can kind of consolidate here, and I can get in at a better place. I mentioned this in one of my other videos, so maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't, but I think I do better shorting overall. We'll have to see what the the trading statistics say after I get some more data imported in here. Here is that trades. I can just leave it for now, or I'll just put this here and put TMST on another chart. So here's my performance so far, the small account challenge. I was very fortunate the first day, 2 Tuesdays ago, I started with a $2,000 account and ended up making $1,400 after commissions, which is an insane increase in my account, like 70%, right? 70, 75. And then I had a small day. Actually, this is after, before commissions. So here's after commissions. So there we go. 1,300. Wow, TMST dropping. Yeah. So overall, I've only had 2 red days. They've been smaller than my, average winning day, which is really good. And maintaining this nice equity curve here. After today, if I finish the day up 4,000, my account will be at 16,000 something, and I'll only be 9,000 away from finishing this small account challenge, which is amazing. If I do keep it up, I could theoretically be done this week. And that would be crazy to turn a $2,000 account into a $25,000 plus account in 3 weeks. You know how long that would take if you were buying and holding, ETFs? That would take probably almost your whole life. So pretty insane. And the cool thing about this is to increase my profits, all I have to do is increase my share sizing. The trouble is when you're using huge share sizing, the pains of large losses start to affect me, and I don't trade as well as I do with the smaller account. So that's one thing. It's just something that I have to build up a comfort level with over time, and it'll be a fun journey, that's for sure. You have to be a good loser to be a day trader, or to do anything in the stock market. You have to be a good loser. It's more important to be a good loser than a lot of things. So TMST just coming down here slowly. Took only 25% of my account on that trade, but that's all right. Looks like 740's kind of a level it's had trouble breaking through here. This one could come all the way back to 650s or so today, but I probably won't stick around that long. PHCF still has a pretty big spread here, but it does have 600,000 shares of volume. Let's just look at that one and see what it's doing. This one was halting early on and is up quite a bit here. Not up very much on the day, so I'm not really interested in this one. It just opened up lower and came back up to above yesterday's price. So not super interested in that anymore. MYSZ. Let's look at that. MYSZ. Hitting the gappers as a super cheap stock. Yeah, not interested in that. If I could short it, maybe. Not really though, because of the daily chart. It's not interesting to me. Other than that, looks like SNSS was hitting the scanners. I have that on my notes here as a possible short, so let me pull this one up, SNSS. So this one is easy to borrow. So, oh, here we go. This one looks interesting in terms of watching it and maybe shorting it later on. So maybe I won't be done so soon. Yep. So this one has news. SNSS. It's a pharmaceutical stock. Changing of, directors and officers, etc. Not super interesting news for some pharmaceutical company at all. So, kind of boring news for me, but news nonetheless. Let's look at the daily chart on this one. Tmst coming up a little bit. So this one's been coming up really nicely. It was at, wow, look at that. This one really is doing well. It was, around $1 last Christmas, $1.20, or wait, no, not Christmas, but November. And now it's almost at $4.50. It's cool. Tmst. So this one could do some consolidating here. It is doing some consolidating, but it might come up quite a bit here. We'll see. I'm shorting TMST here, 754. Reason being, 2 moving average is here, both this one on the 5-minute chart and the 20 EMA on the 1-minute chart as resistance, and it's coming back down here. So now I have a bigger position, but it is a pretty risky entry there. It hasn't really pulled back much at all. So my average price is $7.71. I don't really want to get above that price. And I am taking a bit more risk here on this one, doing this, risking the $150 of unrealized profit I had, but that's okay. I have the cushion on the day to do so. And this has a lot of room to come down. $7.40 is a level that it kind of respected here. $7.40, $7.30, and that's where it bounced off of here. That's where it came down to. So a break below $7.40 will be good. I'm actually adding the rest of my account into this trade here, just out of the chance that it will continue lower here. So I'm short 1,417 shares. Average price was $7.56. I'll be ready to stop out here pretty quickly if I need to, and otherwise looking to capitalize on this moving lower. So a little bit of a risky trade, kind of swinging for a home run for sure, and we'll see what happens. ZKIN hitting the scanners as a 5.7 million share float. 2.2 million shares of volume on the day. That one's up quite a bit on this year as well. Wow. So far only traded 3 stocks a day. My bigger days, I tend to trade fewer stocks than my smaller days. Tend to have fewer trades and better trades. So it's pretty cool. I got 10 people in this live stream, which I've never live streamed my trading before, and so far it's been a successful day here. Up $4,200 realized profit, and I'm in a trade here that could increase that quite a bit if it comes down. You know, below $7. Looks like it is trying to break down below this low of this candle here. So there it is, right at the low of the last 5-minute candle. It's 743. So if we get below 743, 740, and then once we get down to the 730 level, it's really nice, because as you see here near the market open, it was respecting this price level. So kind of bouncing off 740 here. Hey Israel, can you kind of tell me a little bit about the average bit rate there, because you're speaking a foreign language to me. So what does that even mean? That's, yeah. Israel is the very, very handy tech guy who helped set up this live stream. So thank you very much, Israel. FI going crazy. So pulled up here. FI, what is this? Oh, earnings play. It is easy to borrow. Oh boy, today could get interesting. So I'm in a trade with my full account on Tmst, which is going well, and we have 2 stocks that are easy to borrow that I can short, that I am interested in watching to wait for a good chance to short them. Jacob, that is correct. My account is with Lightspeed, and I'm using the Sterling platform. The reason being is I have an account with another brokerage. Well, I really like the Sterling platform. It seems like the most modern platform to me, but Lightspeed does have one which is pretty much identical called Lightspeed Trader, but I haven't really used that one yet. So I'm just sticking with this one. It does cost me maybe $100 a month more to use this one, but you know, I'm a creature of habit, and just because I'm familiar with this one, I haven't switched over to the light speed version of this. But you can have an account at a broker like Lightspeed and pair it with many different trading platforms. You can use Lightspeed's trading platform. You can use DAS Trader Pro. You can use Sterling Trader or DAS Trader, I think, and you can use Sterling Trader Pro as well. But there is quite a barrier to entry of a Lightspeed account. You need $25,000. So that's a little bit of a barrier that definitely is definitely hard to deal with for many people. Hotkeys. Yeah, I'll make a video. I'm actually trying to buy a website right now. So once I have that, maybe I can put some more stuff up. But I will certainly make a video of my hotkeys. In fact, let's see here. Settings, hotkeys. So here are, I don't want to let Tmst get away from me, so Tmst. So keep that on watch. Here's my hotkeys right here. So I use Shift 1, Shift 2, Shift 3, or Shift 4 to buy different percentages of my, use different percentages of my buying power right there. So, you know, I can go in here and edit anything about this this hot order here. So I use that to get into my trades to the long. If I'm shorting a stock, it's the same thing except it's Alt 1, Alt 2, Alt 3, Alt 4. So on my big win on DWSN, for my first entry, I did Alt 2, and I was in it with 50% of my buying power. And then I got in it again with Alt 4. So it was 90% of my remaining buying power, which is why I was in with, so 90% of 50% is 45%. So that's why I was in with 95% of my account. I would have it 100, but it doesn't let me go up to 100. 90 is as high as I can go on the percentage. So yeah, definitely risky putting your full account in a single stock, but I've been doing it every single day of this challenge and it's been working out. But once my account's bigger, I'll definitely kind of slow down. I'll probably maybe switch to share sizing as opposed to percentage of my account. So, you know, I can buy 1,000 or 5,000 shares with a hotkey. The thing I like about buying power is if you're doing it with share sizing, you could be trading a $2 stock and you could be trading a $10 stock. And so that would be 5 times the amount of money in the $10 stock using the same hotkey if I was doing 1,000 shares. Whereas if I'm using, you know, 25% of my buying power, I'm going to be using the same exact amount of money, risking the same amount of money in each trade. So I don't know if I'm going to switch to share sizing or not. I think I might just, you know, edit these percentages. The only problem is they only give me these options right here, so I might have to inquire about percentage buying power orders. Yeah, that's something to look into as my account hopefully continues to get bigger here. I've in the past used with a larger account in the past, I've just used share sizing. But you know, if you're throwing the same 1,000 shares at a $20 stock, that's way different than 1,000 shares of a $1 stock. So and then so that's for getting into trades. Getting out of trades, I have, so here I can either get out of trades on the bid or the ask. So if I'm in a trade and it's coming down, so let's say I was long on TMST and I wanted to get out of it right now because it's coming down, I would want to get out on the bid. I would want to get out right here at 749 and execute immediately, because it might just keep coming down and I might not be able to get out on the ask. You guys probably all know this anyways. So I have orders here for both the bid and the ask. If I'm getting out on the bid, I'm getting out right away. It's Control Z, X, or C for different amounts of my account. So right here, Control Z, sell full position on the bid, sell half position. Sorry, I'm watching FI here. FI, and just resume trading. So I'm going to put this up on the chart, FI. So this one was halted, and just resume trading here. I'm just seeing what it does. This one could be a really good short. Obviously, I'd have to get out of TMST, but just waiting to look at this and see how it behaves here. So I'm not really anticipating trading it here, but that's pretty extended. I could have shorted it up here, but it's also very risky. Trading around halts before and after stocks are halting, you can expect big moves, big fast moves. This one kind of a battle here at the whole dollar level of $5 to see what it's going to do here. So the TMST short is working nicely. Got to look at where I want to take some profit on this one. I just don't see this one going up anymore today. Looks pretty weak. But right here is kind of a level of support here at 730. It's this pullback here came down to 726. Let's look at the daily chart and see if there's any levels back here at this price. So back in December 2020, it was around this price. So we're looking at 730. So doesn't look like it's much of a level here. This is in 2019 and early 2020. So coming down here, 726, 730 on the. So it's probably going to respect 730 for a little bit, just because of where it dipped down after the market opened. But on the daily chart, all these prices are, above 740 where it peaked out here. So FI coming down probably would have been a good short, but not trying to take on a lot of risk at this point. So back to the hotkeys. TMST. So yeah, bouncing off of 726 here on TMST, which is where it got down to here, but still way up on the day. It's up $1.20 from yesterday. So getting out of trades, I use Control Z, X, or C to get out of trades. Control Z is my most common to get out if I need to stop out of a long position. And then likewise, if I'm stopping out of a short position, it's the same thing but Alt Z, Alt X, Alt C. For taking profit, when stocks are moving up in a long position, I'll do Control K, L. K takes the whole thing, L takes half. And then getting out on the bid, throwing out orders on the bid for a short position, I'll do Alt K or L for getting out of the whole or half dollar. So right here, Alt K, cover the full position of a short on the bid. So if you're hitting the bid in a short position, you know you're trying to get the better price. So if you want it to execute immediately on a short position, you have to do cover on the ask, which would be Alt Z. So where's Alt Z? Right there. Cover the short full position on the ask. So that's my hotkeys. Next time I take a trade, I'll grab the camera and kind of hold it and show you what I'm doing. So I'm still monitoring these two, SNSS for a short, but it's obviously still very strong. I like to be short biased on these, even though, you know, there's plenty of opportunity to make money on this coming up. I have a better idea of where to get out of trades when I'm going short on them after they've made a move up, because if they're going up, I have no idea how high they could go. I can make guesses, you know, based on daily levels, but once they finish their move up and they start coming down, it's a lot easier to know where this stock could come back to. And you know, because you know where it started on the day, you know how it was doing recently. Whereas if it's going up and it's, you know, has a daily chart like this, you know, it looks like it could be topping out here at $5 just because of this level right here in late July of 2020. It's you just never really know. So coming back down, I know, sure, it can easily come back down to $4 if it's really weak, because it's, you know, opened up around there. So I just have a better idea of my potential room to profit when I'm shorting these stocks that move up a bunch on the day. Getting into them, anticipating the stock turning around and coming down cost me most of my, you know, loss yesterday on my, it was $1.30 stock, and I was putting 9,000 shares. I was shorting 9,000 shares at $1.20 or 30. So I ended up red $600 on that stock, and that's only a 6-cent difference from my price. So, you know, 9,000 shares, you can lose a lot of money pretty quickly. So this one is definitely dropping down here. Not I don't really have a good entry on that one, plus the fact that I'm still in this with my whole account. So I'm pretty much just sticking it out for, you know, this slow moving short on TMST. I can always stop out. Ideally, it breaks down below this, you know, 726, 725 level, and we see it, you know, flush down towards $7, maybe even lower, 680. And it could do that easily on the day. It's just a matter of how long I want to stay here. So I've been trading since, you know, I don't know when I took my first trade. When did I take my first trade? Since 9:25:55 Eastern time. So I've been trading for just under 2 hours, and that's about when I start to lose focus and not be in the right, not be in the best mindset to capitalize on the volatility. So SNSS came nearly all the way back up here from dropping to 460 there, so that's impressive. That was a nice dip there. And this is probably going to be a nice 5-minute setup if it gets up here. So the high of this candle is 491. So I would be a buyer at 490 on this stock if it gets there in the next 4.5 minutes. And for those of you who don't really understand like 5-minute setups, so this stock has been coming up and up for 4 candles, so it's pretty extended. It did this pullback, and then a breakout to the upside is when is a safe entry, because it's when you're more likely to be able to have a quick move in a direction. It's more predictable, and 5-minute breakout would be the stock comes up, pulls back, and then breaks the high of the previous candle. So I can put my mouse over this candle, and then when I put the mouse over the candle, look in this box here, and it says H right there. That's the high of the candle. So this is open, high, low, close. We're just looking at the high right now. If I put my mouse over this candle here, it says the high is 491. So 491 would be breaking the high of this previous candle. And when it does that, if it does that right here, you're going to probably see this stock jump up over $5 pretty quickly. I'm saying probably because it's not a for sure thing. Never for sure thing. We can't predict the future. But watch this right here. So SNSS, let me pull up the level 2. So usually a 5-minute breakout is a more predictable move than a lot of other ones. So, and we already know this is pretty strong for dipping all the way to 460 and coming back up to 490. So here we are. See, look at that, break $5. So if I were to take that trade, I could have easily made 10 cents per share. If I took 1,000 shares, which would have been no problem, I could have made $100 there in 15 seconds. So I don't know about you, but $100 in 15 seconds is a pretty nice return. And then 5-minute setups, you see these moves continue because, for example, look at this last 5-minute setup. So this one actually has been a really good stock to trade to the long today. Right here, it broke above the VWAP and then did a 5-minute setup. The high of this candle was 437. It broke that and did a move all the way up from 437 to 495. Now, you would have been holding it for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. So that would have been a long hold. And it did dip down here to a low of 424 after it did this 5-minute breakout. So you would have had to been, not stopping out here. A good stop usually for me on a 5-minute breakout is the bottom of the previous candle. So you get in here at 437 for the break of this up to the upside of this red minute candle. And if you are, if it doesn't go in your direction, because no one can predict the future, then you'd want to stop out by the bottom of this candle. That's usually what I look at for stops on 5-minute setups, but I do have a problem with stopping out sometimes, so continually making myself aware of that and working on it, because not stopping out when you should can crush any profits that you have very quickly. As humans, we don't like loss, of course, as I mentioned before, and in trading it's kind of weird people don't really feel like they've completely lost until you realize the loss, until you get out of the trade. So it's very common for people to take a trade and then get in the red and be losing on the trade and just stick in it because they're like, I'll just hold it till it comes back up. And that is called holding and hoping. And let me tell you, on this stock right here, there's a lot of people who don't know what they're doing, who are buying GameStop at $300, $350, maybe even $400, and didn't sell, and now they've lost almost 90% of their investment, because it's so common for people to say, well, why would I sell it when it's down? I'm just going to hold it until it goes back up. Well, hate to tell you, but it's just not happening. So, yeah, that whole GameStop situation was pretty crazy. So Tmst still hanging out here, which is okay. I'm just kind of waiting for SNSS to, kind of peak on the day so I can short it if there's a good entry. So look at that 5-minute setup. I probably should have got out of TMST and taken this 5-minute setup, but at this point on the day, I'm not looking to be too aggressive. This one, I'm more interested in shorting at this point. My problem here is always shorting it too soon. Like, I would see this here, like, oh, it's gonna peak out here. The high was 555. It's not gonna go up any higher, and I'd short it right here. But there's no indication that this is, to me, that I should be shorting it here. That would just be, me gambling and throwing my money, hoping that it does reverse here. Whereas if I wait, who knows, this stock could go up a whole lot. It's really taken off here, and I should wait for a much cleaner short. The problem with shorting something like this is you have to wait until it comes all the way down to VWAP, or it does a break below a previous 5-minute candle before you have a good entry. So you can miss out on a lot of room here where you could have shorted it. It's just that there's no entry, at least that I know of, where I could have been getting in safely. Sometimes, though, I do just say, wow, it's really extended, I'm going to short it. So the fact that this is extended here, is one helpful thing for me if I were shorting it, but it's not really enough for it to be safe. And the other one I was looking at shorting, what was that? FI. What's this one doing? So this one kind of missed the opportunity there. It could come down a whole bunch more in the day, though. So if this one comes up and tests the 460 level, I could get in it on a short. The VWAP is 464. Ideally, I would have been watching this better, and I could have gotten in here as it broke below the VWAP right here at 464. But it'll very likely come back up to 460 or 455, and I could get back in. So I'll watch this one for sure. So I have that up on a different screen. Let's go back to TMST, because if I am going to be taking any trades, I'm going to have to get out of this one. So I'm getting out of TMST here. It does look like it's possibly turning around here, which is okay. So didn't really make a whole bunch of money on that trade, but that's okay. So the stocks I'm watching are FI and SNSS. So let's see here. All right, so we have FI and we have SNSS. So I'll put both these up here. So FI and SNSS. So now we have the level 2 and the 5-minute and 1-minute chart for both of these on your screen. So FI is coming up a little bit here. Want to see it tap into for this moving average at 458 if possible. And I'll come back over to this one and pull it up, FI. So this one does have a lot of room to come down on the day. So look at the daily chart here. It could come down to, you know, mid 3. So watching this here, I want to see it come up a bit higher, but it doesn't look like it wants to. So I am going to short some here at 445. If it goes up more, I will average down on this one, or average up. But it does look like it wants. See on the 1-minute chart here, see this level where it's, you know, been respecting 445 or 444 very well, and it's just dipping down below that here. So I'm actually going to add my full account to this trade right here, kind of swinging for a home run, and we'll see what happens. If it gets up, yep, so looking for a break below 440. My average price is 444. It hasn't really consolidated a whole lot here, but I just kind of look at this and see, or have an inclination that it's pretty weak. It might bite me throwing my whole account in here, but I can withstand the risk of doing so with 2,400 shares. So have SNSS on watch as well. Another thing that I just did right here, which I should probably work on, is once I get into a position, I'm very eager to add to it. And I could have waited here because there's a chance it's going to come back up in the 50s, maybe even tap 460 or so. Probably won't get up above 458 if it does. Either way, a move up to there will put me down a couple hundred. SNSS coming down. So was a little bit eager to add to this, and so I could be getting a better price now adding up here. Either way, it's all right. if it comes up above 463, I'll definitely be stopping out, and I don't expect it to at all do that. It's below the VWAP, been coming down pretty good. I do have $499 of buying power here, so I can add to it up here a little bit if it comes up a bit more. I'm just going to add that right here. So shorted another couple hundred shares at 452. Coming down. I'm going to look at the daily chart on here again. Yeah, so not really many levels coming down here until 392. So 392 is a level that will probably 390, 392. But I think we're in for a pretty nice move down here on this one. It might be slow, so it'll probably be slower move down, but looks like we're getting a break below 440 here if possible. Trying to break below 440. We have this moving average here at 436, so might hesitate for a while here, maybe even a few minutes. Like I said earlier, if you do have any friends or anyone that you know would be interested in checking out my live streams, I'd really appreciate if you would share it with them. I'd like to build up a little bit more of a following, so it's more, you know, worth my time to be sharing this with everyone. But I'm really happy that I've had, you know, it looks like up to 45 people have joined in this throughout the 2 hour and 20-minute live stream, so that's really cool. Thank you. I hope it's at least entertaining, if not in any way educational. So FI, Franks International, what is this stock even? Oh yeah, oil and gas operations, tubular services for oil and gas industries. So has a big float, which is why it's being really slow. 156 million share float. SNSS is coming down here to the VWAP. It looks like it tapped the VWAP there. But this one I was a little bit weary of taking, you know, a short here because it did do such a big dip here and back up. The one thing going for shorts though is the fact that this candle here has such a big, you know, topping tail there that it would take a lot to get back up and, you know, break above this. So might be on the wrong stock of these two, but it's okay. getting tired of standing, so I'm going to sit down. So here we go, trying to break through 440 level again. The action is definitely most interesting right when the market opens. So at this point in the day, over 2 hours after the market open, things can get a little slow and a little bit more boring especially if you're just in this live stream. But it's how it goes. Usually 2 to 3 hours is how long I'll trade. So we're getting to that threshold where I'm a little bit mentally fatigued and looking for this move lower on FI. If we get it, that's great. If we don't, might stop out and call it a day. Except then there's always the next one. So SNSS breaking below VWAP right now, or trying to. Thanks for joining, Oscar. I sent you a message last night so you'd know I'd be live streaming. Let me know if you have any questions. Today I took a really nice short on DWSN pretty quickly after the market opened, and the rest has just been kind of churning shares here, but potential for some good shorts here later in the day on FI and SNSS. I'm kind of letting SNSS slip from me here. SNSS, so I'll pull it up here. This one, I would, if I wasn't in FI, I would be shorting it here as it broke below this VWAP. So I'm just watching it for now. No reason to get out of FI. I still like the trade. It's just a slower moving stock right now. So kind of more relaxed at this point. I can sit back. I don't have to have my hands on the hotkeys ready to mark it out of a trade if it doesn't go in my direction. If FI goes up, I'll be able to get out of it without a huge loss. Yeah, Oscar, I don't know about that. I've never shorted. I've never traded to the short side on my phone. About 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, when I was first getting into this, I had, every single app you could have. I had Robinhood, I had E-Trade, I had TD Ameritrade, I had Webull. What other ones? I had, every single every single app that you could trade in, I had very small amounts in each of them, a couple $100, and that was how I got around the pattern day trader rule. But just using one account until I couldn't, and then using the next one, and then using the next one. First Trade, that's another one that I had. Trying to think of other ones, but I quickly learned that the stocks that I'm trading move too quickly for me to trade well from my phone. Maybe some of the apps have faster executions, and maybe they have, like you can set up, one-click orders to get in and out really quickly. but I never experienced that. And you know, you saw at the market open, you saw how quickly DWSN was, and when I was getting in, and how quickly it flashed down. So I can't really be trading stocks like that if you know, I have to type in the number of shares, and I have to type in the price if it's a limit order, and I have to click, you know, execute this trade, and then I have to confirm it, and then it takes a few seconds for the trade to go through. I need to go like boom and be in it, and boom, be out of it, which I can do with my hotkeys, no problem. Yep, so short selling, my broker, which is Lightspeed, and a lot of brokers, I imagine if you are using, say, Ameritrade, I imagine TD Ameritrade, I think you can short. You might have to have the Thinkorswim platform. I might even have that here on this computer. I'll try and load it. Thinkorswim. So I'm gonna try and load. I haven't loaded this in, you know, 2 years, so bear with me if I don't know my password or something. But retry. I think you can short in TD Ameritrade and E-Trade and those apps, but you might have to have a certain amount of money in your account, and you might have to request the capability of shorting. So you would have to look into that. I would just Google, you know, Google search and see which ones you can short in, because I don't know. I don't have experience with those brokers shorting. I didn't start shorting until I had my Lightspeed account. Yeah, yeah, if any of you are using TD Ameritrade, I highly recommend trading from a laptop or a desktop computer versus your phone. Well, okay, I'm not recommending anything. I might get in trouble for that. I personally find it better trading from a computer than a phone. You have way more screen space for market information. You can do things a lot faster with your mouse and keyboard than you can on a touch screen. So that's what I think about that. So FI slowly coming down here. This whole time I've been trying to open up Thinkorswim. Here it is. It's just been installing updates because I haven't opened it in 2 years. So really slow trade here on FI. Another cool thing about like Thinkorswim is you can, when you're logging in, you can choose between live trading or paper money. Personally, I don't like trading with paper money because I think more than 50% of developing the ability to consistently produce profits and be profitable overall in trading is just based on the psychology and your mind and the thoughts you're having, as opposed to the technicality of charts and level 2 and all that stuff. I think, you know, over 50% of the ability to be a profitable trader is just being aware of what's going on in your mind and how it's affecting your trading, and the different ways that as humans, our natural tendencies usually don't work to our advantage, and usually prevent us from making the best trading decisions. And I probably will make some videos about that stuff. There's a couple really good books about it, and have a couple years of experience dealing with those emotions and feelings. So that's definitely a big part of trading, is the psychology aspect. There's a lot of greed, fear, pain, euphoria, sadness, happiness, depression. All those things can come from trading. So and can heavily influence trading. Yeah, that might work, Oscar. I don't know. Not familiar with that. I personally am an iPhone guy. And if you aren't, I don't really care either way. I don't get crazy about which phone's better like a lot of people do. I'm sure I would do just fine without an iPhone as well. But I'm a creature of habit, so since I've always had an iPhone, that's what I go with. Maybe there's a better option. Maybe one day someone will convince me to get a different phone. So this FI trade, I'm about to get out of at least half. So I'm taking out half of my trade here on FI because I'm shorting SNSS right here at 467, and I'm going to pull it up on the chart and show you why. So FI is not really doing much there, and SS is rejecting the VWAP here. See that? So I'm actually getting out of the rest of my FI trade here. So pretty much break even on that trade. And I am shorting SNSS here with my full account, because it just dropped down below the VWAP, came up here, and tested the VWAP, and it's rejecting it now. So I'm short on SNSS with my full account, 2,290 shares, an average price of 465 for the rejection of the VWAP here. I don't have the best price. The VWAP's 475. My average price is 10 cents lower than that. But I am considering the fact that this stock is currently up 30% from yesterday and has plenty of room to move down here. So my stop on this trade will be breaking above the volume weighted average price of 475, and so that's, you know, a 10 to 15 cent loss. But my profit targets on this stock are all the way down at you know, low fours. So that's where, you know, I'm risking 10 to 15 cents to maybe make 40 to 60 cents. So you always want the potential to make around twice as much as you're risking losing. And that way, you don't even have to be right 50% of the time to be profitable. It's a really simple concept, but it's very hard to master. Becoming a day trader and like developing a good mindset and looking at all these things like this is a continually evolving process. So when I'm saying all these things, I'm saying it to myself. If anything, I'm talking to myself and reinforcing or breaking down the way I'm looking at things. Okay. So news. So right here, this is e-signal, and I pay $160 something a month for this to subscribe to the market data, and included with that is news. So I have a news window right here. So when I type watching SNSS here to see what it does, so ready to stop out if need be. All right, so dang it. This one's so I got out of half my trade there and got out of the rest. So that one was an unfortunate loss there. $528. So I did lose a little bit more than I intended to on that one. It's okay. I'm not going to sweat it. Not a big deal. And yeah, not a big deal at all. So yeah, news is right here. You can get news a lot of different ways. When I type in the stock here, so if I type in Apple, news related to Apple will show up here, and I can just open it up like that. iPhone 13 leaks. Twitter users react to new range's supposed release in September. Whatever. Apple. So SNSS. I'm thinking about if I should watch it and trade it anymore or not. I still don't know what it's going to do here. It's up, quite a bit from the VWAP now, so. So that was a, what was that? My price was $465, and I was getting in out at the, $487. So that was a 23-cent loss. And I had plenty of room to, if this had worked in my direction, I had plenty of room to make, twice that much on the move down, to $4. The next moving average down here was $3.95 or $3.96. So I can't really be too bothered by that trade because it's not about being right or wrong. It's about taking the setups. If it works, great. Capitalize on it and have good exits. And if it doesn't work, then get out at a reasonable level. And 23 cents on this trade is reasonable because I had my price of $465. I had 70 cents before it came down to this moving average here, so not horrible. And looking around, I'm FI. This one is still kind of on my radar here, so I am shorting this one again here at 440 because it looks like it's about to break through this price. I've been eyeing it up on a different chart. If it finally does break down below the 440 level here, that it could come down quite a bit. So my stop on this one's 450. And I'm looking for a move down to, $4 ultimately. So look at that. See? Getting below the 440 level here on this trade. 430. Look how quickly this came down when it broke that level. I'm up 13 cents on this trade. And it's pretty weak. What were the levels again on here? So yeah, so 392 is the next level of support coming down. So I'm not looking to get out of this trade or take much profit until $4. If I were just starting out on the day, sure, I would take some of my position off. But I'm more for swinging for the home runs and stopping out right now with my profit on the day. Let's see. Yep. So I do have ECN fees. Yeah. So per commission, per trade, I do have a $2.50 commission. So let me pull this up here. Reports. Just watching here to see what this does. So now that it did get through that 440 level, it should, stay below it. But if it comes back up, I'll want to get out. Meanwhile, SNSS is coming back down. So, yeah, the SNSS trade is unfortunate, but it fits into the plan, so. So, I'm just going to have FI up on a different chart and look at this here. So, here's trader view statistics up until yesterday. So, I've had 7 winning days and 2 losing days in this small account challenge. And down at the bottom here, well, you can see, let's look at, so gross is, before commissions, and net is after commissions. Shoot, gotta watch my trade. So I'm just watching this. Certainly don't want it to get up to 450. And the fact that it dropped all the way down here is, you know, reclaiming 440 is not great. Great to have you, Robert. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining. Yeah, certainly not a good day for long trades. For trades to the long. So pretty much every trade I've been taking today, I've been throwing $11,000 into and out of stocks because, you know, my account's at $11,234. So, you know, just picture a stack of $11,000 of cash and just throwing it into and out of investments, into and out of rapidly changing value. So day trading is pretty crazy in that regard. But if you can figure it out, then it's pretty awesome. Okay. So I'm stopping out with half my position there at 446. And we'll see what happens with the rest. So just taking some risk off the table by getting out with half of my position there. It doesn't look like it's wanting to come down right now. SNSS headed back up. So basically, I killed it on the DWSN trade, and everything else has been haven't been connecting on anything else. So getting close to being done here for the day, most likely. I have a tendency of saying, you know, I'm about to call it a day, and then something else looks interesting, and I stick around for that, and so forth and so forth, and pretty soon it's been another hour or two. But and sometimes it pays to do that. So you never really know. Sometimes I'm done in 20 minutes. Sometimes I am done at the market close and I'm completely fatigued and can't do anything else for the rest of the day. I read something the other day that our the average, you know, human activity and a brain burns 20% of our calories. But I think if you're day trading, it probably burns maybe closer to 40. So I'm just going to stop out with the rest here if it gets to 450. So I'm stopping out on the rest there on FI. It's not looking good. So I'm going to call it a day. This has been a This has been a long enough day of trading. I've been trading for 2 hours and 50 minutes, up $3,635 in 2.5 or almost 3 hours. So, you know, $3,200 or $1,200 an hour. Not exactly a bad rate there. So I'm gonna be grateful for the profit I had today. Could stick around, maybe, even do really well on SNSS if it comes back down. FI is really slow moving, so that one's a little tough. But SNSS, I'll just show it to you guys here. This one has turned around. It dropped below the VWAP. I traded it for that, but I didn't have the best price and got out coming up over VWAP here, and now it's just continuing up towards the high of day. So that one could be interesting if you're going to be watching any longer, and if not, thanks for joining. I'll end the live stream now, and have a great day. And don't forget, invite your friends to the live stream tomorrow, and we'll be back at it. My account after commission. Oh yeah, I'll talk about the commissions really fast. So tomorrow after commissions, my commissions will probably be around $120, just randomly guessing. So I'll probably be up 3,500 exactly. But just looking at this here, so this is let me just get rid of this and get rid of all this, and get rid of this. So I'll put myself right here in the middle. So you can see right down here. So my net profit so far has been 11,694 on my winning days, and of that, I've paid almost $1,000 in commissions and $163 in fees. So by far, with the share sizing that I've been using right now, the flat $250 commission, or yeah, the flat $250 $2.50 commission has been more substantial than the ECN fees. But if you follow along, and I'm trading with a $100,000 account here in a little bit, then the ECN fees will go through the roof, taking bigger size. So we'll kind of monitor that. But so far my commissions and fees are about 10% of my profit. Take 10% off the top. So it's just the cost of doing business, and not a huge deal. So back at it tomorrow morning, and thanks for joining me. Have a great day.